So you've noticed things in your life are similar to how they were right before COVID. Let me explain why that is astrologically, okay? This is related to the Jupiter-Saturn cycle. See, planets move in cycles. So every time two planets come together, they start a new cycle. And in 2020, we had what they called the Great Conjunction, which was Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn all coming together in Capricorn. So we started a cycle then, and every time Jupiter and Saturn come back into aspect with each other, they are continuing something in that cycle. And especially if they come back into aspect with each other and Pluto, okay? Pluto's a very slow-moving outer planet, so we won't live to see the Pluto square, most of us, but Jupiter and Pluto will, because Jupiter and Saturn are moving, they will still make aspects with Pluto again. So Jupiter and Saturn have been in a trine with each other, kind of back and forth since last October, for like a good month, because they were stationing retrograde back and forth 2 months. They were in aspect with each other, and then Jupiter retrograded back and Saturn kept going forward. But now, since Jupiter is going forward again, they will go back into a trine this summer. And Jupiter will be opposite Pluto. But right now, Saturn is in a sextile with Pluto. So that is like, this is like the precursor, because Saturn and Jupiter aren't moving, like they're not going to aspect Pluto at exactly the same time. Right now, Saturn is making its aspect. And then in July, Pluto is making its aspect. So this whole time is kind of connected together. And in April, that's when we have Mars and Saturn coming together to make a conjunction that will be still in aspect with that sextile with Pluto. So it's like a kaleidoscope, right? The planets move in and out of these different formations with each other. And every time all the same planets get back together into making a new shape, that's when something big happens that's somewhat related to the other thing, but not exactly the same, because now they're all in different positions. But this doesn't mean everything that's in your life now will be related to what happened before COVID, because all the planets are moving at different speeds. All the planets are in the sky all the time. Not everything that happens in your life is related to the Jupiter-Saturn cycle. That's why we talk about things that Jupiter and Saturn rule over, because only those things are related to the Jupiter-Saturn cycle. Right? So when you learn which planets rule which things and which houses they're in your chart, that's how you start to learn how all that kaleidoscope moves around together. But then this is all going to connect to that major aspect I keep talking about in July. And then Uranus is going to conjunct with Mars right before Jupiter opposes Pluto. So like what's starting in April will really in July. So you've noticed